In the last decade, EA had the exclusive rights to develop Star Wars games, and in 2023 this 10-year exclusivity deal from EA will finally end. That doesn't mean that EA is not going to make Star Wars games anymore, but from 2023 on out, other studios and publishers can and will develop Star Wars games, and that makes the future of the IP more diverse and exciting than ever before. From AAA to smaller development studios, there are a lot of different games in the making, and in today's video we are going to discuss all of them, including their genre, ambition, development teams and release dates. So let's talk about Star Wars games. Hello gamers from around the world, this is Boxenberger, the video game enthusiast from Germany, with a video on all the 8 announced upcoming Star Wars games. And before we go through all of them and talk about what we know so far, I wanna ask you for a quick favor. If you end up enjoying this video, it would be awesome of you to consider to hit the like and subscribe button and maybe even turn on the notification bell to not miss out on future content. Okay, thank you guys for the outstanding support, and now let's talk about Star Wars. Just last week, Lucasfilm announced along with Amy Hennig that her studio Skydance New Media is working on a Star Wars game. Amy Hennig used to work at Naughty Dog and was responsible for the story of the first 3 Uncharted games. After she left, she started to work at EA at the studio Visceral Games on a Star Wars game with the project name Ragtag. This was unsurprisingly a linear third-person action-adventure game, but it was cancelled from EA in 2017. Amy Hennig then left EA and started to work at the newly founded studio Skydance New Media. Now she's working on a Star Wars game again. During the announcement, this game was described as a richly cinematic action-adventure game that will tell an original story. And of course, many assume that it's more or less the spiritual successor to the cancelled project Ragtag. And it's going to be interesting to see when and where in the Star Wars universe this game is going to take place. What is good to hear is that it is an original story, because that gives the developer much more freedom in the way how to tell a great Star Wars story, rather than the devs working along the lines of one of the movies. President of Lucasfilm Douglas Rayleigh had to say the following: "We couldn't be more thrilled to be working again with Amy. She and the Skydance New Media team have the talent and ambition to create a unique Star Wars adventure. Their vision for making inviting, cinematic, interactive entertainment makes this collaboration very exciting. We are working hard with their team of experienced and talented developers, and we are looking forward to share more with Star Wars fans when the time is right." The studio of Skydance New Media was founded in 2019, so we really don't know how long that studio has been working on that IP, but since the studio has not released any other games so far, we can assume that the team has been working on this for a bit, and if I would be a betting man, I'd guess this is a 24 or 25 title. Another highly anticipated Star Wars game is the upcoming Jedi Fallen Order 2. EA has confirmed that Respawn is working on a sequel, and it is rumored to come out this year. Since EA really hasn't talked about their plans for game releases this year, I'd say it's still in the realm of the possible. Another rumor says that Respawn has started to work on the plans for the sequel even before the first game came out, which is great to hear, because that means that they are thinking of this IP as a holistic universe. And everyone who has played the first one knows how great it was. It is a linear action adventure with a great combat system, the lightsaber fights felt fantastic, there has been some platforming elements, and it told a great original story around the young Jedi Cal Kestis. So I think I'm not alone if I say this is definitely a Star Wars game I'm super excited for, and I can't wait to see where Respawn will take that sequel. What was really untypical for EA is that this game did not run on their in-house engine, the Frostbite engine, but it ran on the Unreal Engine, and everyone expects the sequel to do the same. And maybe, and that's just speculation from my side, the sequel will already run in Unreal Engine 5, which has released just a few weeks ago. Another big AAA game in the Star Wars universe is coming from Ubisoft, more specifically from Massive Entertainment, the makers of the Division games, and it will make use of the same engine than the Division games, the Snowdrop engine, which will get a new iteration in the upcoming Avatar game, to make use of a lot of current-gen console and PC features. But we really don't know much about the game besides that it is an open-world action RPG that will focus on a narrative, so it remains to be seen whether it will include some co-op or multiplayer elements like the Division games, but I expect fact that we can play this game completely solo because they focus on narrative and it being an open world RPG. And since the game is definitely at least a 23 if not a 24 title, I bet it will look absolutely stunning in this latest iteration of the Snowdrop engine, which is a beautiful and very powerful tool. The interesting question here will be where and when this game will take place in the Star Wars universe. Since Ubisoft is probably pushing for a huge AAA experience, I wouldn't be surprised if they would try to make the game in the most popular Star Wars IP, and that is the Mandalorian right now. But again, that's just speculation, and I'll go to the official Disney statement on a Mandalorian game a little later in this video. But let's move on. One of the most popular Star Wars games ever released is Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. This classic RPG from BioWare was originally released in 2003 exclusively on the OG Xbox, and this amazing game is now getting a full-blown remake from the studio Aspyr, which is now going to be exclusive to the PS5 and PC. Weird times we live in. However, it will be fully made in a new engine, and they will try to focus on keeping the spirit what makes the OG game so special while modernizing other aspects of the game, like for instance they will have a new combat system. The original real-time with breaks system will be gone, and rumors have it that the new combat system is inspired by God of War and Neo. As far as we know, the KOTOR remake is targeted for 2023, but you know as well as I do that plans can change. Let's go back to Respawn again. Besides the aforementioned Jedi Fallen Order 2, they are working on 2 other Star Wars games, and one of them is going to be a first-person shooter. We don't know much about this game except that it is directed by Peter Hirschman, who previously worked on multiple Battlefront titles, multiple LEGO Star Wars games and The Force Unleashed. Now, whether this is going to be a new Battlefront or something else remains to be seen, but given that Respawn has made the amazing Titanfall 1 and 2, hopes are that they will make use of that great formula in the Star Wars universe. And I mean, it's not too far-fetched that instead of playing in the mechs from Titanfall, you jump in some of the vehicles from the Star Wars universe. Definitely an interesting one, but don't expect that game anytime soon. My guess here is at least 24 or 25. Another Star Wars game that Respawn is working on is a real-time strategy game that they are developing together with BitReactor. BitReactor is the studio that was founded by the creators of XCOM and Civilization, so they definitely have some strategy experts here on board, and one can really tell that Respawn is going all in on the Star Wars IP. We don't know much about this Star Wars strategy game, but I love to hear that there is so much diversity coming in the Star Wars universe, and a good strategy game is definitely missing in the portfolio of Star Wars games. Then we have another game coming from Quantic Dream, and that is Star Wars Eclipse. Yes, the makers of Detroit Become Human or Heavy Rain are taking a shot on a Star Wars game. This is going to be an action-adventure that, according to Quantic Dream, can be experienced in many ways and puts the destinies of multiple playable characters in your hands. Each character will have their own stories, abilities and role to play in the tapestry of events that could alter the carefully balanced piece of the Outer Rim. While no specifics have been given about this story, there has been a statement from Quantic Dream that suggests that this political thriller is going to take us to new places in the universe. An uncharted section of the galaxy with never before seen species and planets to discover, the Outer Rim is rife with opportunity and political tension that could alter the fabric of peace. What will you do? There's no official statement on a release date yet, but last week we have seen statements that the development is going better than expected and it could be a 2025 title. And the last officially announced Star Wars game is Star Wars Hunters. It's a free-to-play, team-based multiplayer game for Nintendo Switch and mobile, and it's due to release this year. Not my type of game, but definitely worth a mention because it is the first console game that is developed by the mobile developer Zynga. Okay, but with that I want to wrap it up. I think it's obvious that the future of Star Wars games is brighter than ever before. There will be first-person shooters, there will be story-driven linear third-person action adventures, there will be open-world action RPGs, there will be strategy games and much more. There is a diverse lineup coming from bigger and smaller studios, and so every Star Wars fan will have something to play over the next years. The elephant in the room is obviously the highly anticipated Mandalorian game. I mean, if we are honest, Star Wars is the Mandalorian at the moment. After the last movie trilogy, the story around Mando has become the fan favorite and everyone wants to play in that universe. A few months ago, when being asked about it, Walt Disney's Games Senior Vice President Sean Shoptaw had to say the following: Disney Plus will play that role in addition to the film slate with new or dormant IP that gets a new life. We are certainly paying close attention to things going on there, and we will look at the success that happens. Obviously, Mandalorian is a great example and how we can apply that to our business. So that's a little teaser, but obviously they are looking into bringing the Mandalorian to the gaming world, and like I mentioned earlier in the video, I wouldn't be surprised if, for instance, the Ubisoft game or the Respawn first-person shooter or other games will end up in that universe. Nevertheless, it's great to see that Star Wars games make a huge return starting in 23, and I can't wait to play more games in one of my favorite universes, and make sure to let me know in the comments down below which Star Wars game are you looking forward to the most. But for now, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you found it informative, I would highly appreciate it if you would consider to hit the like and subscribe button as well as the notification bell. As we head into May and June, there will be a lot of gaming news because all the publishers and developers will start to talk about their plans for the rest of the year and beyond, and I will definitely cover all things gaming and gaming tech here on my channel. And if you want to have even more gaming discussions, I highly recommend to check out my podcast Call the World of Gaming here on this YouTube channel, which airs every Thursday. And besides here on YouTube, you can also hit me up on Twitter, where I share a lot of opinions and gaming discussions. But for now, thank you very much for watching, I see you the next time, and game on!